Hello, folks. Welcome back. It's time for your second course. Is that the right word? Of LDZ and Merlini. How you doing, Ben?
Hello. We've got a good one here. There's another good one, LGD Navi. But if you aren't watching that, this one might be even better.
Good for you guys. You chose the right game. I think this is actually going to be the more interesting game, personally. IG versus HR. HR are a dark horse, man. They're both 6 and 5. IG, I was not sold on them coming into this event, but I have to say, Ben, they've surprised me. I got to eat my words a little bit. They've looked pretty decent. And, well, we all know HR brings the face rush. They like to fight early and often.
IG has a talent, man.
Let's see what they got cooking. Yeah, IG definitely has the talent, but HR just seem to have the teamwork and, like, the flow. They swarm to the point of attack.
That's true. They also adapt a lot faster, too. Like, Secret, Shadow Fiend first pick. That's what they do now.
Yeah.
And they make it work. They run Omni Knight a decent amount. They, run Spirit Breaker. They have a wider variety of strats that I think are newer. IG, they pull back strats, I think, from like a while ago, like the Naga mid that Ferrari runs occasionally, but they don't seem as deep-seated as HellRaisers.
And against HR, I think you do have to target your bans a bit. Don't go for just like the standard, heroes that are in the meta right now or anything like that. They will ban the Night Stalker first phase, which it's not really something HR would necessarily first phase pick, but it is something they like to run oftentimes in the off lane. So.
It's hard to play against,
yeah,
especially if you aren't used to it. So I can definitely understand the Night Stalker. They want to play against something that they're confident against facing, like VS. You know how to play against VS. Burst them down quickly and try to control her before she swaps and prepare for early aggression. That's what you do.
And IG will also take one of the Spin Lords. They grab the Axe, the beefiest of the three. And in doing so, I feel like they also are just denying this to HR, something they like to run quite a bit as well. HR go Venge. What have we seen out of this team? They've not been afraid to pull out some unorthodox heroes like a Bloodseeker. I don't expect any of those weird picks in the early phases, but more something to keep an eye on moving forward is they'll now snag that jungle Chen. Zero,
Chen.
Honestly, picking into a Chen after an Axe is not the most common thing in the world.
Still, X is not that great anti-push, though. Avenge Chen can be like the makings of an early 5-man push strat, which...
Yeah. Also very good roaming if they need to.
I mean, HellRaisers don't even need 5-man push. It's just like 5-man push early, rather. They can just 5-man in the mid-game. Chen's a very strong 5-maner.
It's not like a go-to HR pick, but it could fit well with their early aggression. So, as for IG, we've seen them picking some hard carries for 430. They've run the Drow Ranger strat. We've seen them run a Morphling mid. Medusa occasionally comes out for this team. I don't know if you want to try and pull off something like that against HR, because they are very good at punishing greed. Probably one of the best teams in the tournament, which is part of why they almost beat Secret.
They really are good at punishing greed. Like, if you're aiming for a strat that peaks around 40, I think you're going to lose versus HR. Like, unless you have really, really good execution. So, I think IG, they don't go for like a Naga. Morphling, I think, is maybe a little bit greedy, but at least he has a lot of AoE. Juggernaut, typically, you won't see picked this early versus a Chen.
Yeah.
At least it's nice and early. It's a nice and early game. Secures your lane, I'd say, for the most part.
Yeah, just something kind of like the Morphling, a little bit more so, that can fight early and often if needs to be. Of course, that being said, Omni Slash not going to be hugely useful in the team fights with this Chen pick. And now the bans come out. IG removing the Warlock very quickly. There's also that Pocket Broodmother pick that both teams should at least keep in mind. I think mainly something that HR should be slightly worried about. They do not have much to deal with the Brood in lane, and, well, IG already having the Axe first pick. It's not such a concern for them.
I would like to see a bring back of the mass AoE strats to deal with Chen. Like, you could just blow up all those creeps with, like, Echo Slam plus, like, I don't know, maybe...
Like
Tidehunter, like, even a Death Prophet, I would say, is, like, a lot of AoE.
We've seen some Keeper of the Light. A few teams have run the Keeper. Navi actually ran it yesterday.
Like, you blow up all the creeps and you Omni Slash, and then Juggernaut's actually useful. But generally, you don't see teams with enough AoE to bring down a Chen army.
Now the Dazzle ban from HR. They do not want the Superman Axe and Jug just living for ages, and perhaps targeting some... Oh, and the AA ban. All right, well, the chances of quite a bit of heavy push increase here.
They could have used the Dazzle, actually.
Yeah, which is interesting. I guess at that point you are running a core Dazzle, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Na'Vi tried that. It did not work.
Yeah, whatchamacallit tried that too. VPP.
I feel like the main way where it could really work is in some sort of aggressive tri-lane, but just running like the Dendi mid Dazzle it's just underwhelming.
It's good against melees that have low armor.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's a risky strat. HellRaisers don't usually go that risky of strategies.
What are they going to go? They've showed just such a variety. Sometimes we see like the more ganking type heroes, the Slark, the Bloodseeker, the Night Stalker, which got banned earlier. We don't really see them picking too many super teamfight centric carries like the Dusa. That's not really their style, but this kind of is. They go Viper, very good against the melee carries, and also a hero that can build that fast mech or just tank up if you want to push. So it does seem like maybe a Bristleback's your fourth pick here if you're HR, something along those lines. Something that further just amplifies the death ball.
You know, I would like to see Pugna now and then, especially versus Axe and Jug.
Yes. Where is the Pugna?
It's a pick that hasn't really worked out often, but at the same time, I think like
he's good against Axe, I think.
He's good against Axe. He's decent against Jug. He's also just great at pushing and end the game early versus these guys.
It just gives you that safe tower damage. Like, you just drop up another blast, back off.
And Decrep is really good against Axe. You can Decrep Axe, you can Decrep the target that he calls, you can Decrep Juggernaut's Omni/target. Decrep, I think, is rated.
Yeah, he can be a bit squishy and vulnerable in the laning stage, but I mean, we're seeing teams get away with like Shadow Fiend picks mid all the time and not really being punished for it. And if you pick like a Chen Venge as your supports, you're applying a lot of pressure. IG will go for the Witch Doctor. Obviously, a great hero to have against Chen tower dives. And that being said, they still don't have a ton of deep push. Like, you've got Cask, Axe and Jug can get in the middle of the creeps and try to slow them down, but that also puts them in harm's way. It's a bit worrisome.
I still think they need big AoE damage, or they're just going to get run over.
You know, the other option for HR is a Drow. Like, they could go for the Drow +1 here if they wanted to.
For IG?
Oh, no, for HR.
Oh, for HR, yeah. I think HR could easily do that.
I feel like that's the two main options. Like, your Bristleback, your Drow type strat. I mean, they could go for more of a hard carry, but it doesn't really seem to synergize that well with the way they've drafted. Space Cow. All right, that's their offlaner. It is a go-to HR hero.
That is unusual.
It feels a little odd with the other three picks, though.
It really does. What does he bring here? He brings an Aura. Aura is definitely nice. They are Revenge Aura, Chen potential Aura, Spirit Breaker Aura. So that's already good for 5-man.
But do you really pick the Spirit Breaker just for the Aura, you think?
It's decent versus Juggernaut too. It provides some lockdown for him during the spin.
That's true. He's not the best 5-man group up and fight type hero, though.
He is not, but he can make his lanes a lot stronger. Like Viper is already really good at dominating his lane, and then on top of that, with the Spirit Breaker charging in, the mid hero might not get that much farm. And if they shut down Ferrari, I think it should actually be pretty easy for them to win.
Okay.
On top of that, he is a melee hero with a fair amount of armor, so he can actually tank Axe, I would say. He also has like a good amount of mobility in fights too. Like, if they can get past the Axe and Juggernaut frontline to isolate a hero like Witch Doctor, it's going to be really easy for them to win fights, I'd say.
It is sticking to their guns. Like, this is the type of hero they like to run. They're not going to change their entire playstyle just for IG and go for more of like an MVP style draft. But we'll just have to see if IG can deal with it. Also, not an easy hero for Jug to kill in lane, which might be one of the considerations.
Yeah, the move speed, dude.
Yeah.
Empowering haste is really good.
And just high HP. IG go Quap. I don't know where they want to lane this, though. Quap versus Viper is not fun.
You can go no Shadow Strike build.
That's true.
But it's still a difficult matchup.
Gives them more AoE. It does give them some magic damage, and they were looking very heavy on physical.
It's
has
not that
okay D push, but not great.
Spirit Breaker can own her, though. I guess she has a really long range blink. I think they need something like a Shaker, though. I think Shaker would be really good for IG. Stop the Spirit Breaker. Good AoE to combo with Queen of Pain. Like, Queen of Pain plus Earthshaker can just own them in team fights. And Hellraiser's team fights are really weak.
And they banned Rubik. That is...
Rubik's decent, too.
Rubik's
good. He's decent for Spirit Breaker. Like, you're usually you're always going to steal
true.
charge or his ult, which are both pretty good to steal, and he has low cast point, so he can.
It's very hard to charge him. I mean, I guess there's, and he also has better deep push than say like a Lion or something.
Oh yeah, I think he's one of the best, I would say, deep pushers. As a
HR1 here. The sniper was removed by IG. I don't know if that's the direction HR were headed though. Probably there. I guess this is the arts hero most likely. That one position.
It could be mid.
Yeah, I guess they could run the Viper safe lane. Would be good against the Axe as well.
I still think I think they're going to pick a safe lane farmer though. Actually, I'm not sure. It's a difficult matchup either way. If they pick a too weak of a laner in mid, Queen of Pain will actually have an easy matchup as opposed to a hard matchup against Viper. But there are a lot of melee carries that are weak versus the Axe. So
trying to see what has Arts been running.
Medusa.
Okay, that was not expected, to be honest. She has a decent 5-man carry.
HellRaisers like their Medusa. Is there? I've seen a lot of teams actually run that. It's like not.
She seems after Shadow Fiend like the most popular kind of ranged carry in the tournament.
Yeah, you need range carries versus Axe, I would say. You just struggle too much in lane.
Well, you wanted an Earthshaker. It's a little bit of a different flavor here.
Ooh.
Slightly more farm-dependent, the Sand Cane, but
here.
similar levels of deep push.
He's also...
And team fight.
He has a fairly low cooldown stun, and it's really important to keep these heroes locked down. Like Viper and Medusa, they need to be controlled in fights, or they'll put out too much damage. And they don't actually have that much control. Queen of Pain, Juggernaut provide no disables. Axe, you're not really disabling them from attacking. Witch Doctor, there's going to be a lot of cast or a lot of creeps to bounce too. So I like the Sand King pick here. They needed a stun for sure. Stun plus AoE, so it fits the bill.
Okay. Well, with that said, Ben, we get underway now. It's IG taking on HR. Both teams in a dead heat. They're right on the boundary of the top 8, 6 and 5. This is a very important game. You drop a match here, that might end up being the difference between top 8 and being one of those 9 through 12 teams. And so we introduce the players. June going to be playing your Axe. Chuan with the boots first on the Sand King. Luo handling the Juggernaut early. He's got the boots picked up as well. Chizbug on the support Witch Doctor. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Ferrari 430 himself on one of his old school heroes, that Queen of Pain.
The Quap.
And meanwhile, Dread, he's going to drop down an Observer Ward. He's on the Vengeful Spirit for HR. He's trying to retreat out. Does have boots first as well. Goddamn, walks right by Chuan. They had vision of him. He tangos through. There's no boots, so goddamn, this could well be your first blood. But rotating in is the entire squad.
That is way too
Oh, that's a big, deep dive from Chuan. He's already skilled the Burrow Strike. Coming in is the Juggernaut as well. And charging forth his Goreets. You want to fight level 1, son? I'll come at you. But they don't actually get the kill. And now Chuan retreating out. IG getting aggressive. They're going to cut off the path. He tries to tango through the trees. He'll end up falling off the bat. Quick bash from Koresh. Our Goreets will end him. And now the chase onwards to Luo. Another charge and another kill. It looks like one more auto attack. They get it. A 2-for-1. First blood to IG. But you don't simply walk into HR's jungle and get out scot-free. That's just not how this team rolls. And oh my, what a way to start the game. So finishing the introductions, we've got Arts playing the Medusa. It'll beat Affininge on the Viper. And goddamn, handling the Chen.
Chuan just went in way too deep. He has boots. His team doesn't have boots. And on top of that, Impale pushes you forward. So he's like way ahead of his team. And Quap has Blink, I suppose, but those two alone can't really catch anyone. Still, they did get some wards down. They stopped one of Chen's spawn, and they stopped the double pull. But I mean, it's not worth it for them.
Yeah, in the end, it ends up being basically no lead at all. The 2-for-1 exchange, but with the first blood going IG, makes it even. But that said, they haven't really shut down Goddamn. His jungle will be open to him, and he'll be able to get started right away. And
yeah, but the experience is pretty significant too. Since Chen died, Chen doesn't need levels. I mean, he's going to get his levels regardless, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that important if he dies, and he did die first. So they split the experience to members that needed a lot more. Like Spirit Breaker's level 2 is really, really important. He's already level 2.
That's true.
I mean, it's
a small thing when these heroes are level 1, but every little bit helps.
And also, it's like sets a bad precedent. So you want to be able to control Chen in his jungle and with the 5-man at the start, but they weren't able to do that. So that means they're very unlikely to be able to put out any pressure onto him for like at least 5 or 6 minutes. And he will go with the Shadow Strike build. That is ballsy.
Really? Well, he hasn't actually skilled Corrosive yet.
There he goes.
Yeah. Have fun, 430. I remember a game where Hani leveled up Shadow Strike against Corrosive Skin.
That is so silly.
And I think like he hadn't been following the recent patch changes, but he got just destroyed by the Queen of Pain.
You cannot cast that.
Or out by the Viper, rather. Like, he died just to the corrosive skin.
I think it actually does more damage.
Yes.
Than, almost more damage. It's 30 seconds every 3 seconds, so it's 10 damage a second, same as corrosive, except corrosive lasts every 4 seconds as opposed to 3. So
yeah, this is definitely not the build. Like, getting the 1 point, okay, maybe at level 1, but beyond that, you level it up, you're just asking for trouble.
It's not the build. I mean, you can build it, just don't cast it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to die. Unless you're a masochist. I guess.
Well, Queen of Pain. I mean, it's in the name, right? So maybe he's just role-playing. You never know. Sun comes on the little bottom lane. He actually did not Blade Fury dodge. It takes a lot of harass, but wants to conserve his mana, it appears.
Is it worth it? I guess saving 110 mana for spin as opposed to using healing. I guess that's actually more efficient. Not dodging it.
Yeah. Not letting the healing ward get sniped is part of that efficiency.
Not efficient.
Oh, it just went from efficient to not. Pretty slow reactions by Luo. That was like a solid second to just start moving the ward back.
He should not be an assembly line worker. That is not your future career, Luo.
He ain't no ice, man. I'm flaming him now that Gods isn't here to defend him.
Ice?
No, Luo.
Oh, Luo. Oh, ew. I am anti-Luo.
You're on the Luo hate train.
I have been for a very long time.
I still remember that Star Ladder match where he was Slardar. I was casting with you. I think we had a long day, and there were like 5 times where he forgot to BKB, and it just lost them the game.
There was also this one game he was AFK farming as Viper for like 20 minutes, and then his team just lost. And Viper has to fight early, I would say. I mean, he is decent in late game, but like he can't solo carry. It's not his thing.
So both teams are playing fairly passive jungle games right now. Chuan, already level 2.5, and he's been stacking his big camp here. Trading for the Chen's farm, who is level 4, but you know the Sand King will catch up a bit once he clears that stack. Are we going to see a smoke from Goddamn? He's got one in the inventory. They do have Avenge, though. Dread is low on mana. Do you think HR should be trying to like apply some pressure here? Maybe go for
They don't have
a gank?
to. They just have to get to the late game, I'd say. Just because they're farming an Axe in the safe lane, which is not that strong late game, as opposed to a Medusa and a Viper. I think Medusa and Viper will be able to outcarry an off-lane Jug, an Axe, and a Queen of Pain.
That's true.
So they can put some pressure, but it's not to gain an early game advantage. It's just to, hold out for a later game and prevent movement from IG.
Yeah, actually, at first you look at like Jug, Queen of Pain, these are decent late game heroes, not exceptional, but then you have to consider the key thing. The Jug's in the off lane, and he's not getting much right now. Luo Sedate, 10 CS actually not too bad. It's nothing like your free farm Medusa will have.
So Axe needs to get his blink fast and start making kills happen.
And the timing may work out pretty well, where Chuan gets his at a similar pace. Not quite the same, but they get the blink brows and just start.
Ferrari's doing very well mid. His CS is actually really good versus a Viper.
Yeah, it does go back for the level 3 Scream. And the Viper even has a DD rune bottled, so...
And on top of that, there's a Harpy creep harassing.
Yeah, well, nobody's ever questioned 430's laning, that's for sure. But...
I like 430 and I don't... I like 430 about as much as I don't like Luo.
Yeah, it's tough with IG.
I'm biased, though. Luo has definitely carried a few games, though. It's always surprising.
He's just kind of... Yeah, even when he carries, though, I'm just always like kind of surprised by it. I don't know, maybe we're just haters, Ben.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
That is all I have.
Well, Tron, gonna start. It looks like I'll go for one more stack here, as the creep continues to be a bit of a nuisance. So, good pace for the Sand King thus far in the jungle. The Chen getting a lot. Up to 1,000 gold already. Still has yet to use that smoke. Maybe we... What do you think? Just the straight mech rush for the Chen here? Does he get the arcane boots?
Yeah. They need mech to tank through their ultimates. Like Quap ultimate especially. Quap ultimate will almost be purely negated by the mech.
And then if you factor in the Hand of God, you can basically negate the entire Queen of Pain combo at that point.
It's really important that he keeps his army alive versus like a Juggernaut in particular.
And an Axe. That is the one issue going into the mid game is the Chen army can just be devoured if it's caught out of position.
But at the same time, it can like own the Axe and the Juggernaut if they're a little underfarmed. So it works both ways.
It does. Goreet's now level 4 in the offlane. He's more or less keeping up with... Well, actually, not keeping up with Luo. Luo's level 5, closing on 6. He's got a lot here. And finally, HR are going to go for their first smoke. They've pulled And already Luo is scouting. He's going to see that nobody's around, and he might get a little suspicious about this. God damn it, Dread making their way towards mid. The Queen of Pain very far back, 430 low. But he's going to get his bottle, actually a salve, and the bottle. This is not a particularly easy kill. Can they get the jump on 430?
Netter into stun.
If they get off this Viper, oh man. He blinks out, Venge following, but the team not with him. Goddamn was kind of backing off with the creeps.
It's not a kill at a T2. They need Viper there for his damage. They don't have.
He could have just Viper striked like right away, I think, when he walked up for that first auto attack.
I don't think he expected Flora to blink out that quickly.
Yeah.
He just like blinked out at the first sign of.
I think that goes back to Luo. Like he runs over here and he sees that there's a double pull or a pull through, but nobody's actually farming it.
Yeah, it was slightly obvious, I'd say.
Ninja now getting caught out mid lane, and he will be blown up by the rotation of Chuan, who hits level 5. That gets him close to his Blink Dagger. 430 using the first ult, but coming in hot is your space count. Goes on to 430, and then, well, has nothing left in the tank. Surprised he even bothered completing the charge with no ulti yet.
Chuan also went for an ungreedy 3-2-0 build, so looking to get some pressure on. 1,700 gold on Sand King, and after giving up an early death, that'd be good.
In good news, they are free farming to Deuce a safe lane, but what's concerning is the double blink for IG will be very timely. Axe closing in on his. He's received 0 pressure. Actually, your lead farmer thus far. And the Sand King, not far off either, as you mentioned. So,
I wonder what build Quap's going to go for.
What's your preferred build? This kind of feels like a one-position
It's
Quap,
either
to be
a
honest.
Scepter or a Necro Book. I don't think it's going to be Orchid Rush, because you can't... I mean... The likelihood that HR is going to be in a position for solo pickups is very, very low.
It definitely feels more of like a 5-man type of lineup in terms of the fights for IG.
So Scepter for burst, but Necro is better for sustained damage, especially versus Medusa. Like, Quap's very mobile, so you can wait to use your Necro Book after the Stone Gaze, and you just blink Shadow Strike Necro Book, and she's pretty much dead, I would say, or at least crippled enough that she can't stand there and fight.
It also gives you the much better split push, which... IG don't have great tower taking potential, so that may be something they look for here. For now, 430 just gets the treads.
Yeah,
He'll stay with the basics.
Everyone else, I mean, it's pretty much going to be standard, I'd say. Maybe Juggernaut. Yeah, Juggernaut goes for that build, Axe, Blink, Sand King, Blink, Witch Doctor, Scepter, yeah. It should. The only one I'm really questioning is Quap.
We'll have a pause here.
Viper...
Kale.
Wait, if Viper's going for mech, then what is Chen getting?
Do you go Axe Rush?
Axe Rush is good.
That seems to be the main Chen build. If it's, I mean, once in a while, I guess I've seen a Vlad's, but
Pipe is
not
good.
too often. This is a really good pipe game. You're up against Quap and Sand King, and I feel like it's one of the least appreciated items in the game. If you look at how often the item's built, I believe it's one of the bottom few in terms of popularity.
Puppy likes building it. Puppy's one of the few supports that OC will build it fairly often.
It won't block the Quap ult though, right? Because it's pure damage.
It'll block. I mean, Scream and Pale.
Yeah, the Epicenter.
Spin.
There's still a lot of other magic damage.
Malediction.
He does go for the value point in the heal though. We've seen a lot of players just skipping that lately.
It's really good for 1 point. Like extremely good.
It's like it's as good a 1-point wonder as most of Jug's spells, I would say, if not better. Speaking of that Jug, Luo now gets his completed phase boots. He's gonna build back into Arena of Aquila. He's doing quite well in the offlane. I have to say.
They have 2 trolls. They can kill them.
They're trying to, perhaps. Well, if not killing him, then definitely looking to push. The skeleton army shall be summoned, it seems. Or will it? No skeletons? No skeletons. Yes, skeletons. All right, here we go. The push begins.
Gotta get that cooldown running.
But
also,
this could be tough. Axe has a blink. Sand King is about to get his. He may be too late for the tier 1. So they want to fight before he has it. There's a lot of little creeps here. June could go for the big jump. I feel like that could be really good.
It's really risky. If he doesn't get Medusa, Medusa spins, or Medusa stone gazes and the fight's over.
Yeah. And he maybe doesn't want to reveal that blink yet, but they've been showing the Witch Doctor top for a while now, so...
If they can get Chen, I think they can kill Chen before he ults. And even if he ults, he has 7.
The smoke is wearing off fairly soon, though. Luo even going to Blade Fury, trying to bait them in on him. And now the blink in. Call comes into goddamn. Dread is waiting with the quick stun. The spins are there. He gets the dunk just in the nick of time. Now your epicenter. Chuan arrives, had his blink ready. They only get the Chen thus far, though. And now charging forth is the Space Cow, but 430 starts cleaning up in IL3. Brings down 3 heroes, looks for the 4th. And all of a sudden, HR's push in total disarray. The Viper wasn't there. He gets there too late, and it'll be 4 kills. Another chop, another frag.
That was all on the Chen. The Chen was just way out of position. If he had a ward here, I would say, yeah, maybe he could push up there. He pushed up into vision of the T2 during daytime. You cannot let that happen. Chen is like so extremely fragile, and he needs his creep army to back him up. He did a good job of fanning out his skeletons, but allowing Axe to get that first chop off, especially before Stone Gaze tick down, is unacceptable for that sort of early push.
And I mean, it really goes back to this hill as well. Like, you always see teams ward that hill when you're pushing the tier 2. And not doing it costs them a lot.
Especially this early.
Yeah.
Like later when you're strong enough, you have BKBs and, you know, they have a mech.
He has an Ags or something.
Yeah. Then maybe they can get away with it. But that sort of... I mean, I suppose that they might think that IG don't have their blinks, so they can proceed that way, but it's about that time. I think like a free farming Axe, 8 minutes is like the earliest that you would start to be scared, and then 10 minutes in is like, okay, yeah, he definitely has any reasonable player.
June is looking to jump in here.
Yeah, he's
blink gets canceled though.
He's corrosive.
Yeah, he's gonna
They're
have to
going
chill.
again. This is very bold. They don't have the mech yet on the Viper.
Yeah, Buckler now picked up. He's almost got the recipe. They will trap Luo. Are they gonna follow this up? Alpha Ninja charging forward, but the big blink leap in comes from June, and again the death ward going to work. It's a full duration ward. Now Goreet's gonna fall as well. 2 down, and the chase is on. Blink, call, ready. 1 second, he's got it. Pulls Alpha Ninja back in, and with no Chen, with no defensive swap even, there's not much they can do. They're going to lose the Viper as well. It's 2 feed trains in a row. 7 kills in the past 2 push attempts.
Man, HR.
This is a crumbling HR already.
They needed like 2 minutes, I would say. Viper, really close to mech, 500 gold away, but he just died. Ventral Spirit, had a medallion. They can go for Roche as opposed to the T2, which might be a little bit easier for their line. I guess maybe not barring blinks. Luo does get charged in mid, but I think he's going to be okay. And then, what else were they waiting for? Chen level 7 is not as big of a deal as before, but it's still like...
Even just having like the Venge swap, so that, you know, if the Chen gets jumped, perhaps they can save him and he gets off Hand of God.
2 minutes, that's all they needed.
They're not known for their patience, HR. Sometimes it's been their downfall. Actually... You look back at their previous... I don't know if you saw the eHome game where they were up like 20k gold, had a super stack Slark, and they just... Instead of just taking this bottom tier 3 in racks, they kept on diving the tier 4s, feeding kills away, and then 2 or 3 times in a row they did that. Then the game turned against them and ended up losing.
Dota, dude.
Yeah, and against a lot of these Chinese teams, most of them are quite patient, and it's just... You have to be able to just take a step back, relax, and focus on securing objectives rather than just diving headlong for kills.
It's just really risky. Good teams will punish very risky plays.
Oh, hello, 430. He blinks up onto the high ground directly into the Viper. This could be a nice freebie. He'll try for the TP out. That's rather unfortunate.
He's probably like, what are they
If he walks into that, he probably blinks out and has a chance to live. But he just blinks right on top of them.
He's going for a Yules. Yules is...
Do you like the Yules this game?
I think it's a decent team fight item. For example, if they initiate on someone, like Chen, they can use the Venge or use the Adusa so she doesn't Stone Gaze. It's also really good for Spirit Breaker in particular. One of the few items that will actually save her from a Spirit Breaker Zerg. So I think it's decent here. I mean, especially with the Yules being the item.
They're roshing, but Chuan is in position. June is in position. He's going to blink right into the pit, into the Chen army. He'll quickly call, but now he is being controlled by Alpha Ninja. Chuan even epicentered for this. He hardly gets anything off on HR. The Hand of God, they might even be able to turn this. The Stone Gaze now being popped as Luo attempts to Blade Fury and retreat out, but he'll drop. This is a pretty bad way to start the fight for IG. 1 by 1 they go in. They might end up throwing this Roche engagement. Another blink forward. There's your Queen of Pain ult. 430 to save the day. 4 dead. It looked like they might just collapse there, but the timely rotation of a double damage co-op. Now Goreet's caught out. It's 4 dead. Make it 5. Nope. Does he live? Shadow Strike? Is it enough? He stops charging, and 430 blinks in, finishes him off. Well, that was with IG having a terrible start to the fight.
That's a 430 quad for you. Nice cleanup crew by him. Very well placed ultimates.
He did 2460 damage in that fight.
I mean, he had 3 people with his ultimate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was indeed crazy. And still, I mean, that's how far ahead of IG are. Their room for error is massive. They ultied creeps. They both blinked into the Roche pit without vision. They ultied creeps. The Chen creeps got healed to full. Omni slash onto...
They tried to kill the Venge. The Venge didn't die.
It was ridiculous. And they still won the fight. It's insane.
It's not a good sign for HR.
It's really bad.
I think we're understating the case even. Another 5-man wipe. They've had 3 heroes dead mid, the 4 heroes dead bottom, and now, well, 3, 4, 5. This is the first 5-man wipe. It might not be the last. HR? They're nothing if not stubborn, Ben. They're going to go right back to the Roche pit.
I mean, they have a lot of heroes that are all on the early game, right? The Chen, in particular, Spirit Breaker's falling very far behind, Vengeful Spirit falling far behind, so they need to go for some risky plays.
But already IG are roaming on in.
They know.
Yeah, they know, and they're going. Blink, call into the pit. Chuan here as well. He doesn't have Epicenter this time, but the cast, and don't forget Death Ward. Chizbug is getting full duration Death Wards off constantly, but it's not quite enough. June chops down 1. They haven't finished the job. Another call coming forth. 430 arriving. The secondary burrow strike from Chuan. They're just getting wiped again and again in the pit. The meat grinder. It's running out of space here, and, well, IG might even collect a Roche.
See, IG knows that they know that the only way they can get back in the game is through super risky plays.
That was just so obvious. I mean, they might, maybe they have to go for it.
They do. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And IG knows that they only win with these long shot plays. And unfortunately, HR had to take that risk.
You know, it just goes back to that first push bottom. The Chen being out of position, not warding the high ground, and then I would say the push mid as well, where they almost had Venge swap. They almost had the Viper mech. They could have just waited, like, literally 2 minutes and then gone for a second push.
You bait out the Viper in that situation. You let the Viper or the Tusa sit in front, and then you have defensive swap if you need to.
Right, they have the heroes to put in front. That's the thing.
They really do. And they also have decent late game, too, with the Viper and Medusa.
Yeah.
But after throwing away that many kills, like, their late game is suspect.
So what do you do now if you're HR? What's your plan?
You do the boring route, stack Ancients, farm Ancients, play defensively, sit behind Viper and Medusa, don't get picked off like this.
Well, this is not going to help. Goddamn being charged. Luo still has an Omni Slash. He's going to unleash it on Ninja. Trying to tank it with the mech. He'll be sent back and kept alive, but the Chen falls again. And now June on the chase. Arts will get off his ultimate, preventing that full initiation. Now trying to squirm his way back. Stonegaze not actually... Oh, it does turn him to stone at the last moment. And meanwhile, the charge coming in from Gorian says 430 also wanted to join this. We need an extra bash or 2. There's your bash. He's still got the Aegis, though. He'll blink out. Now Yulzing to dodge that Mystic Snake. Well played by 430. Luo coming in with the healing ward. They want to try and keep this Aegis going. It's in the tree line. Very well positioned. Then the Burrow Strike from Tron. He doesn't have Epicenter mana, but they just have too many heroes at the point of attack. They dunk Ninja. And now 430, chasing onwards. He's going to slow...
This should be GG soon. Like, oh my goodness.
They are just getting wrapped.
They're throwing so many bodies.
No, not done yet. They like taking the punishment. They'll give up an extra couple kills. Another 5-man wipe. As soon as the Chen respawns, he TPs in mid, instantly dead at the hands of Chuan and 430.
That is brutal.
It's GG any minute. This is just unbelievable. 3,600 gold swing in that fight, and that's with IG already leading massively.
Oh my goodness.
HR is just so hit or miss, you know.
Balls
as a
to the
team.
wall, dude.
They just don't care. Win or lose, they're just gonna keep on applying pressure, keep on playing aggressive, and unfortunately, this just wasn't one of those games where they could get away with it.
I hope they're having fun.
They're still in contention here. They lose this game, they're 6-6. It does put IG more comfortably towards the top 4. They're 7-5 and in the running for that. But actually, they'll be nipping at the heels of Big God, who are 8-4. So there's even a chance if IG continue the run, they could make their way into top 4 contention.
Big God also has to play tough opponents. I think tougher than IG.
They still have to play EG, Rave, and Vici. Yeah, Big God's got a tough final few games here. It is shaping up to be a very climactic day number 5. Maybe less so to decide like who advances and who doesn't, but more who's going to be 9 through 12, and then as Drake gets caught out here. And who's going to be in the top 4. Those seem to be the 2 main areas that are hotly contested. Dread trying first TP out, but he's slain by the chop.
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
And we're not done yet. I like slain. That's a good word. That's interesting. Jug still spins even while he's stone gazed. Nothing can stop the Jug. He will get caught out here a bit. The Death Ward begins to bounce though, and Goritz will cancel it. But then he's called by the axe. He's in chop. He's in the chop zone. Actually, I guess he whiffed the chop, but doesn't end up mattering. They get 3 more kills. And Blink forward, hunting for Arts. They'll get him too. 430 lane into him from the high ground, and IG just pub stomping at this point. This is just too easy.
Well, see, even Luo died there. He could have omnied. Come on, dude.
Luo's a feeder. I don't know. I kind of do consider him the weak link on this team, but I know gods will flame me for that.
It's okay. I'm on board. I'll have your back. I have your back on this one.
The other player that's really been a weak link is Yao for LGD. You remember when he used to just be a beast on his Magnus? Like even as Invoker at TI2. But
his Invoker's sick.
Yeah, it's been a while since Yao's been in top form.
You know, players have their ups and downs.
Yeah.
Luo has his downs.
Well, the good news for Yao is he's got a future as a Chinese pop star if he ever has to retire from competitive play. So he's got a plan B. I'm not sure what Luo will do.
Okay.
How do you feel about IG like moving forward? Do you view them as a team that can make a run in this tournament?
Yesterday I saw a game, I think it was versus Ehome? Was it versus Ehome? I think it was versus Ehome. Yeah, it was versus Ehome. They played so sloppily. It was incredible. Like, I view this team as a team that has tons of experience. They've been around the block, similar to, like, old Na'Vi, I would say. Like, they've just been around forever. Since Dota 1, you know, they've been playing professionally Dota 2 since TI2, and just stayed together for a very long time. And they just, like, they played against the Knicks and they didn't get gem. I don't think they got a gem until, like, 45 minutes. And the Knicks owned them on top of that. Like, it was kind of disgusting to behold. And on top of that, there were a lot of other errors that I would not think that a more experienced team like IG would make.
Radiant's middle tower.
And they feel a little bit chaotic as a team. Like,
they are
less consistent, perhaps, than like say Big God would be I think a decent counterpoint to that. Who always seem to have at least a solid game. Even when they lose, they rarely get run over.
And he is trapped in the sandstorm.
He's just gonna kill him with sandstorm.
That's a sad way to die.
Don't hit him. They'll throw out the urn. No, everybody wants this kill, and 430 the one to claim it. He's just gone straight Scotty.
I mean, what an old school player. You won't see Scotty qual that often, especially second item, but it's what the older guys will do.
Yeah, it's something you can get away with when you're 9-1 and 11.
Well, the Scotty slow plus Shadow Strike's actually really strong. Like,
very good for kiting melee carries.
It's good for kiting, like, even heroes like Viper. Like, they cannot run away. Dusa cannot run away from that. It's what? 50% slow and then another 35%. So you're moving at minimum movement speed from those two alone, which is insane, especially when applied by a ranged hero. Melee hero, you're like, okay. Ranged hero with blink.
Yeah, once you get snared, you're just dead. Well, they're going to take the tier 2 here. IG taking their time about looking to end this game. They'll not clear out the mid tier 2. Well, at least the wave, and then look for the tier 2.
I also like Eul's because it stops TP away from Qual, because that's actually one of the things that she can't do, is like stop when you're solo gaming people, especially like a tankier hero like Viper. You need to chase down with multiple blinks, multiple shadow strikes, multiple scream at pains, and usually people just TP away. But with the Euls, you cannot, which is nice.
The push continues, sieging 430, just laying into the tower now. As June will get Test of Fate, they Shadow Strike, goddamn, will blink back. He doesn't want to be tanking too much tower shot in the way of tower shots, but Chuan will come in with the Epi, unloading from the high ground with the Death Ward. It isn't quite enough to finish off F Ninja. Now he's on the run. Goritz trying to commit the chop from June a bit early here. He'll whiff the dunk. That might actually turn this a tiny bit. Then the call, and June continues to just swing forward. And oh yeah, by the way, there's a 430 in this game. He's killed off the backliners. The Viper finished off Luo with the Assassination Omni. And I think HR need to find that G key.
God.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Every fight is just bloodier and bloodier. Whether they like it or not, IG are going to put them out of their misery. They'll push through the mid, searching for this tier 3 tower, and it seems... I don't even know if they have to leave. They've got the healing ward, they have the Witch Doctor heal, 5 urn charges. They could just set up a permanent encampment in this Radiant base if they so desire.
Level 1 healing ward.
Jug has too many value points. Like, not everything should be a value point.
Yeah.
It's just weird, like, as a hero concept. Even if it's not overpowered or anything.
Yeah. I still think Jug might be touched next patch. I'm not exactly sure, though. He does have a lot of value points, but his stat growth is also really weak. So
that's true.
You can kind of see it as compensating for that. His base damage was pretty weak prior to the
+6 agility. Yeah. So it's decent now.
He had weaknesses before. Now it's not as good.
He has not been winning a ton of games in this tournament, though. If you look at Jug's win rate, I think it's below 50%. Now, I'm not sure if that's just clouded by which teams are running him, or if it's actually the hero being not as strong as what people thought. I do think teams have gotten better at countering Jug, though. We've been seeing a lot of him. Okay, he's actually improved since the last time I checked. He's at a 57% win rate, which is actually quite good, so scratch that.
He's still good. He's really good, undoubtedly.
But I feel like there was a period where he was even like 60, 70% win rate. Teams have gotten better at dealing with him.
I like Jug. He's a cool concept as a hero. I wish like Blade Fury was not as strong for 1 point though. It's really strong. 5 seconds of magic immunity.
Yeah, then the cooldown does improve a decent amount, but it's not like you're ever gonna use 2 Blade Furies in a normal fight. So the fact that it's 30 seconds, it just hurts you a bit more if you're forced to use it early in the off lane. That's like the main area where it would even affect you.
There we go, Roshan number 2. And Queen of Pain going for the right click build with the Hyperstone.
This is the classic Quap. Like the classic pub stomping style. Something I'm sure 430 has done many a time in his day. You can go into your Mjolnir from here if he so desires. And for now, it looks like he makes room for the Aegis. With this picked up, IG should be looking to cave in this bottom lane and force HR into submission.
Isn't he beyond godlike now?
430?
Yeah.
11-113. When did he die?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Oh, that blink up to the secret shop.
Oh, yeah. That was just pure bad luck.
Top tower
I think he had a kill or 2 at that time.
Dire's top tower.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. If he's not already beyond godlike, he probably will be by the time they cave in this bottom lane. He blinks up onto the high ground. He begins to start chipping away at the tower. They'll clear the wave. NHR slow to return, but they've run out of time. Their split push now ends, and a desperation battle begins. They are running the Medusa. There's always that slight sliver of hope that if IG horribly overextend...
They should approach from multiple directions. I think they should like have a couple people pushing in mid lane.
Yeah, you know, you compare this like the Secret game earlier, where Secret got all 3 lanes to the base before they went for this. IG are a little bit less patient. Art's getting slowed. You can see unable to do much once the Shadow Strike Scotty comes in. They will sneak through mid with a smoke. June now revealed. Oh, HR didn't actually spot him. Oh, no, now they did it.
Invisibility.
They might jump the Deuce if Arch pokes his head out. He does complete a Scotty. Buyback situation, rather bleak for the Radiant. Only the Viper having it. And they get that first blink call. Now dragging Gordon's back to then force staff him that way. Very nicely executed initiation. Basically your ghetto Batrider lasso gets the kill.
Yeah.
My thanks.
I like that. I like the 4-staff play though.
Yeah. That like the blink call is something a lot of teams are doing, but following up with the 4-staff is a really nice added touch.
Healing ward deployed. Here it goes. T3 under siege. Can HR do anything about it?
The hype is real. IG on the verge of taking down HR. Are they going to be able to smack through the racks? They're slashing into them, doing their best. Come on, Luo. Hack away a bit harder. Slice, slice. Chop, chop. Calamity slash now. Dread with the swap out. The gigantic epicenter. Oh my god, the dunks are here for dead in a matter of moments. IG with the most epic come-from-ahead Rax break you'll ever see. They're going to finish it off. The buyback from Goritz. He tries, but he just can't do it. He's chopped down again. HR losing it all. The Viper's dead. They were so close, Ben. They were so close.
They almost got a kill.
They were almost there.
They almost got one kill.
Oh my.
Okay, well.
Well, 35k gold. That's how this one ends.
But, you know, HR, they play with a lot of balls and a lot of brass. And it takes something like that to propel them to this area. You know, Secret, they have really like clean-cut execution, decent drafts. HR, they have the balls. They fail a T1 push, whatever. We're going for another T1 push, even without our items and our levels. Okay, we failed that.
Work.
Okay,
let's go Roche.
Let's go Roche. Okay, that failed. Okay, let's smoke Roche. You know, it's
their confidence never falters. You have to give this team credit for that. They don't overthink things, but it's just those little elements of polish that end up deciding the game. Like, go back to the bottom push, the ward, the Chen's positioning, then the second push, not waiting for their key timings. I don't feel like the Roche move was a mistake. It was just kind of forced out by the state of the game.
I would like to see them vary it up sometimes, though. Yeah. Like, instead of YOLOing 24/7, they YOLO half the time so that teams think they're going to YOLO, and then they can use that to their advantage.
And then make it look like someone's YOLOing, but then you're actually baiting that hero.
Yeah.
And you make plays happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
They like, you know, smoke around into Roche, wait for them to blink in, and then go for a jump. You know, something like that.
Yeah, now the teams think they've pigeonholed HR. They need to go to that next level.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like the next level of
We
YOLO.
should get you on the phone with them. Might be hard with them in China. Guys, with that said, that wraps up our match here. I think this was one of the quicker ones. So we have LGD versus Na'Vi.
I think it's the longest game I've casted today.
Is it really? 29 minutes.
What was Secret?
You know, Bruno said, we were just chilling on the couch earlier. He's like, today's going to be the day of stops. And so far, it has
I had a 21-minute game, a 24-minute game, the Secret game, and this game.
Yeah, this is your long night. But
what the heck happened?
Oh, man. Well, LGD versus Na'Vi, probably still going on at twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit, guys. On BTS2, we are going to have Cloud9 versus MVP with Coddle Guy. A very struggling Cloud9.
This is their day. Can they do it?
Well, if today's not their day, then I think they're out of days at that point. They're not 4-6 right now.
Well,
who do they have to play? They have to have some easier opponent. No, EG still to play. IG, LGD, MVP, newbie and MVP should be wins. Should be, but Cloud9 does not look great, to be honest. They could end up losing games to IG, LGD, EG, and if that happens, suddenly Cloud9's got 9 losses.
I mean, you got Tongfu who have to play HR, Na'Vi, and Secret.
I'd be shocked if Cloud9 doesn't get into that 9 to 12 range, but at this point,
it's possible.
It's very likely that they don't get top 8. I would say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, with that said, be sure to check out those other streams. Give Coddle Guys some love. Give the guys at the main studio some love. And, well, I guess this is your last cast for the night, buddy. Do you have anything special to say to your viewers, all your fans out there?
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Pay attention to DAC. I'll be streaming tomorrow, I think.
Okay. Well, can check him out at twitch.tv/Merlini.
Watch DAC. Watch the other stream.
Yes.
Dota Cinema Beyond the Summit 2. Wait, or Dota Cinema. Whatever.
Dota Cinema. Go watch Dota.